Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So excited to be here with you, coming live from the Women's Wellness Center. I am so happy to be here with you, presenting another course to support you on your journey, navigating parenthood and life's journey. And today we are doing a course or class in our birth series. And this one will be baby care, essential skills for new parents. Again, baby care, essential skills for new parents. So as always, please like, please share, please send this to your network because you never know who needs this information. Today I have a jam-packed day, so I said, let me start off my day by completing this class. So excited about today. So excited. And you will know soon why I am so excited. All right, I just had to test out my mic just to make sure it's working. I'm using new technology. I'm going to also place in the chat our handles so that way you can keep up with us and all the events that we have going on. All right, so let's jump right in so that you can be on your way for the day. So excited. Resurrection Sunday is coming up. All right, welcome to our class. Again, we're talking about preparing you with the knowledge about newborn care. We're going to talk about newborn characteristics and behaviors, talk about feeding techniques, both breast and bottle feeding, safe sleep guidelines to reduce the risk of SIDS, understanding newborn testing and why it's important. Also, car seat safety to ensure your baby travels securely, and infant CPR and emergency readiness. This is a judgment-free space as always. And if you have any questions or concerns, you definitely can place it here. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Go ahead and put in hashtag replay in the comments. And if you would like to schedule a consultation or have a one-on-one session, please reach out to us. We have both myself and Miss Austin that can support you with the birth class and hands-on learning. So the characteristics of the cute little babies, look at those babies, you guys. So newborns come into the world with some unique traits. So don't be alarmed if your baby has a cone-shaped head from the birth canal, if they're peeling their skin, or if you have blush hands and feet. Don't be alarmed. Every baby is different. I know for my last child, we had to have him put on a crown, and he had to go to a specialist and wear this crown for some months to help with the shaping of his head. And that was new for us because we had 3 other kids and we were like, what is going on? What did we do? But every child is different. And he was a C-section. So every child is different. So 1, reflexes. So the rooting, which turns the head towards the touch, is sucking, is grasping. Those are 1. Number 2 is behaviors. Newborns, they sleep 16 to 18 hours a day. And basically, that's to help them grow. That's to help them, pretty much to grow. They need their rest in order to grow. And so you'll see short bursts, and they'll communicate mainly by crying because they can't talk to us. That's their way of communicating. When they're hungry, when they need to be changed. So just get used to the crying. An example would be a baby who startles when hearing a loud noise, and it displays the Moro reflex. And this is completely normal and will fade with age. So it's they're like, what happened? Like, oh, that scared me. They're startled. So they'll cry. That's their way, again, of communicating. If they're hungry, that cry is a different cry than being sleepy or being want to be held. And as a mom or dad, you'll get used to the different cries and you'll know. you'll know. And I am the mom that will tell you, I held my child, I used my baby sling throughout the day in the household. I mean, I just was doing skin to skin. Every parent is different. Old school parents may say, you know, hey, once he's fed and stuff, let him cry. Every parent is different. The way that you parent your child, there's no judgment. You know, there's no judgment. It's just, it's different. Okay, baby's first day. So the first 48 to 72 hours are definitely a whirlwind. That's when you really need a lot of support. You'll have the first poop, which is sticky and black, and it looks like tar. You'll have your feedings, which will be every 2 to 3 hours, including overnight. So you're not resting like you used to. So that's why they tell parents to make sure you get your rest before baby gets here. I know for mom, it's like, really, how am I going to do that? I can't get comfortable in the bed, but try as much as possible to get your rest, because when baby gets here, oh, you're going to be in shifts. And so you want to have a schedule. And it really depends on if dad is able to take leave from work or his obligations, or if you have a family member that can come over, or if you hire a doula, if you have a postpartum doula that then can be built into your schedule to make sure baby is getting fed 2 to 3 hours. Also, jaundice, if your baby comes home with jaundice, it'll be mild yellowing is the common, and it has to be monitored. And so 2 of my babies, Amara had it the most severe, so I did not come home with Amara to get over her jaundice. And then my other child, Aubrey, I believe it was mild, and it just went away. So we didn't have any concerns there. But again, every baby is different, and you will be given instructions when you leave the hospital or after the midwife delivers your baby on how to care for your baby. I kind of touched on this already, but bonding using skin to skin, meaning that you have your shirt off, the baby has their clothes off, and you all are literally touching skin to skin. And you can put a blanket over the baby if you would like, but that really helps with bonding. It helps with the baby's body's temperature, and it also promotes breastfeeding. It supports the mom and also the baby. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Skin to skin is a good thing. Also, with skin to skin, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's never enough. There's never enough, because even for mom and for dad, it's never enough, because you want baby to get used to you. You want baby to feel comfortable. It's so soothing. It really is. It's so soothing. And that connection and that bond that develops during skin to skin. So I highly recommend it, especially when you're wanting your milk to fully come in. It just does something to your hormones inside when you do skin to skin with your baby. So an example is a parent practicing skin to skin by holding their diaper baby on their chest, and it helps to regulate the heartbeat and the temperature of the baby. That is so true. All right, safe sleep guidelines. I'm gonna give you what the guideline says. I'm gonna give you what the guideline says, and I'm saying it that way for a reason. Again, I am not a doctor or licensed medical professional, but I am a doula, certified doula, and a mom. But I'm gonna give you public information throughout this presentation. So preventing SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, and I have known people that have gone through this, unfortunately, with their kids, with their infants. So it is serious. It is one of the most important aspects of newborn care. SIDS is the sudden and unexplained death of a seemingly healthy baby, usually during sleep, and typically occurring in babies under 1 year old. And although the exact cause is unknown, certain safe sleep practices significantly reduces the risk. So alone, a baby should sleep in their own crib or bassinet and never in bed with parents. On their back, always place the baby on their back to sleep, even for naps. Cribs, use a firm sleep surface with no soft bedding, pillows, or toys. and keep the room at a comfortable temperature and avoid overheating. Avoid overheating. So don't put too much clothes on that baby. If you have on a t-shirt and some pants with your socks, that's enough for the baby. You don't have to have that baby real, because you don't want the baby uncomfortable and to overheat. Avoid smoking during pregnancy and after birth, and keep it as a smoke-free smell. Keep smoke away. So if you are someone that does smoke, before you pick baby up, take your shirt off, wash your hands, so that way it is away from the baby. And an example would be a safe sleep setup includes a crib with a tight fitting sheet, no blankets or toys, and a baby dressed in a sleep sack instead of using loose covers. All right, breastfeeding. So breastfeeding offers optimal nutrition for babies and healthy benefits for mothers. I am an advocate for breastfeeding. Yay. All my kids were breastfed. I know, and she didn't latch, so I was pumping away, but that's still breastfeeding. As long as the baby's getting the milk, that is breastfeeding. And I also want to say that it is quality over quantity. I know in the beginning, you're like, I want to just go. I see these women online and they're just having all these bottles and bags of milk. Quality over quantity. I was never an overproducer. Actually, I didn't produce enough. However, my babies got the milk. They got the gold, the liquid gold. So please, it is a journey. And some women catch on with their babies quicker than others. It took me a while. My first baby, it took us 3 months, literally, for Amara to latch. And I had a lactation come to the house. Shout out to my friend Stephanie. She came over, she helped me. I had a bunch of different people giving me recommendations. And I just kept putting the baby on. And my mom, rest her soul, rest in peace. Every day I came home, she's like, "Are you full?" And I'm like, "All right." She's like, "Put her on." And I'm like, "Okay." And just one day after that 3-month mark, Amara latched successfully, and it was just done after that. Like, she was just ready for it, until I just did not have enough for her, and we had to supplement with milk. But ladies, if you are able to get some milk, that is better than none, because the healing properties in it, the benefits, if that baby gets sick, that milk heals. And it's so interesting. If you do further research, you'll find out that if the baby is sick, the milk's color kind of changes, because it's giving the baby what the baby needs, literally. I did see something on, I think it was TikTok recently, where a mom was fixing coffee for her husband and he was sick. And she was like, "Well, when he's sick," and she puts a little bit of the breast milk in there, she's like, "And he feels so much better. He don't know," but, and I've heard of that. Like, and so I've used my milk for my babies, for my older kids as well, when they were sick. So there's so many different benefits for breastfeeding. Like, I could stay on this slide all day long. But let me read the slide. And remember, if you need any support, whether it's local here in person in Georgia or virtual, we are here to support you and help you throughout your breastfeeding journey from beginning to end. It is so important for that baby. It really is. So it offers optimal nutrition for the babies. It has health benefits for the mother, help you that stomach to just get sucked on in. There are different positioning. They have the cradle, they have the football hold, or the side laying positions. And also with latching, you want to ensure that the baby takes in a large portion of the areola. And that's something your lactation consultant or your doula, we can help you with. And you want to feed at least 8 to 12 times a day. And what I tell new nursing moms, you can do it even more than that, just so the baby gets comfortable latching. And it's also a soothing mechanism as well. It helps with bonding. Again, it strengthens the immunity of the baby. It promotes bonding. It helps mom heal with postpartum. It really does. So if your baby's cheeks are rounded and you hear the swallowing, the gulping, right? Then guess what? The baby is latching correctly. Bottle feeding. So if you do use bottles, and not just having the baby on your breast, and if you're using formula, you want to make sure that you think about what type of milk to use. If you're not on WIC, which is helps. It definitely helps. I was on Milk WIC with my kids. It definitely helps to support that cost because milk is expensive. So that's another reason why if you can breastfeed, because milk is costly. But they have various types of formula. They have the ready to feed, they have the concentrated, they have the powder. It just really depends on you, depends on your baby. They also have different types of milk. So some kids may not like cow milk, so you may have to go to an alternative brand, but your doctor can support you in picking the right milk for your baby. And you want to follow the instructions exactly. When it tells you how much milk to put in there, don't guess. Don't say, oh, it needs a little more. Do exactly what it says because you want to make sure that the baby's getting the nutrients that they need. And if it's too saturated, they're not getting it. If it's too thick, it's too concentrated. They're not getting what they need. So make sure you follow those instructions. And responsive feeding. So watch for hunger cues and avoid force feeding. So if that baby is turning around and opening up and like, all right, I'm opening up to get the milk. Okay, that's a sign that the baby may be hungry. And the baby will tell you. They will tell you. They will cry. So have no fear. If baby turns their head again or closes their mouth, they're likely to be full. Again, feeding cues and schedules. So you want to understand your baby's cues. It helps to create a trusting and effective feeding relationship. So they give you hunger cues. There are some examples: rooting, sucking motions, hand to mouth movements, and full cues, which is slowing down. They're turning away or they're falling asleep. All right, they're getting full. Schedules. So newborns may feed again every 2 to 3 hours if they have growth spurts. And you're like, no, I'm on a schedule. And 10 o'clock is when you're supposed to eat. If that baby's telling you that they're hungry, feed the baby. Baby's hungry. Baby's growing, needs more. During cluster feeding, baby may nurse several times in a row during the evening, and that's okay. Also, breastfeeding mom, if baby is full, but you haven't expelled all your milk, then you grab that pump, whether it's a manual or a regular one that just does it electronically, and get all that milk out, and then you can store it for the next feeding, or you can put it in the freezer for a rainy day. And then I would say also for breastfeeding, remember when you put it in the bags to write down the date that you had it. So that way, you know when you have to get rid of it. I believe you can hold it up to a year's time. And then if it's after that time, what you can do is put it in the bath for the baby, get a baby a bath with it. Or you could donate it to a milk bank, especially if you're getting more milk supply than you need. There are definitely moms out there that would love the donated breast milk. Newborn testing and screening. Early screening can catch health issues before symptoms appear. So they have all different type of testing. Metabolic screening, which is blood from HEAL, stick test for rare genetic disorders, the hearing test for your baby, the jaundice screening. If your baby fails a hearing test, it's often just fluid and will be retested before discharge or in a follow-up. So all of this is happening initially when that baby is born. So you want to make sure that your car seat is in place before you have your baby. We know sometimes there are emergencies, but well in advance, you want to have that car seat safety part checked off, done, completed. You want to install it properly, which is rear facing only. Make sure it's secured tightly with little room to move. Make sure that harness positioning is at the chest clip, at the armpit level, and the straps are snug. So during the winter months, if that baby has a coat or something on you, they always tell you to take it off and then fit them in the car seat, because it's that coat is not going to be as snug with the coat. Also, common errors: loose straps, aftermarket accessories, coats, like I said, under the straps. And you want to make sure you have a certified car seat tech check it. You can go to any of your local hospitals. They can help you there. You can also go to fire stations. I know back in the day, they had those as well. I know in Maryland you can. I'm not too sure about Georgia. So if anyone here know specifically in Georgia if there are other places, please put it in the chat and let us know. Let us know. Let us know. All right, where's my mouse? There it is. Infant CPR and emergency preparedness. We encourage all parents to take a CPR class. Take a CPR class to be certified to at least know the basics, because you never know. You never know when you have to use it. We hope we don't, but you want to be prepared. But knowing CPR can save your baby's life in an emergency. Okay, and there is the postman. Give me 1 second, you guys. Morning, thank you. All righty, so infant CPR and emergency preparedness. So CPR basics. So when you are administering CPR, there are 30 chest compressions followed by 2 breaths, choking response. You do back blows and chest thrusts. And if the baby is under 1 year old. First aid, you want to keep a baby first aid kit and emergency contact list handy with you. So if you're babysitting, if you're a nanny, you want to know these things. And an example would be if you use 2 fingers, like you see in the picture here, in the center of the chest for compressions, pressing for 1.5 inches deep. And when you take the CPR class, they go into detail. But this is just giving you some brief information. This is not a certification or a training per se. Practical tools and must-haves. So these things are essential. This is just a small list. There are more things that you need, but just giving you an idea of what to start preparing for. Diapers and wipes, you're gonna need a ton of those. Swaddlers, and sleepers, a whole bunch of, they're gonna live in those things. Right now, you probably don't need any shoes, even though you see shoes there. They're not walking. They don't, I mean, that's just more for you to keep up with. Thermometers and nasal aspirators, oh yeah. Breastfeeding bottles and the supplies you need. So the bags, your pump, the cleaning solutions, things of that sort. The baby carrier or the wrap, like I said, for me, that baby lived in that baby carrier for me to get around, all 4 of them. So an example would be a baby wrap can help soothe a fussy baby while freeing your hands. Oh yeah. And when they get a little older, they'll be like holding on like, whoa, because I lean over. I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. I love my baby strap. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out to us. Don't hesitate. If you would like a deeper dive in person, we can schedule that one-on-one or as a group. We are here to support. And remember that baby care is a journey. So don't strive for perfection, but just aim for connection. Ooh, that's a word. And build a support system, and make sure you ask for help when you need it. Don't suffer in silence. And review handouts, workbooks, and things of that sort. We have a plethora of it here at the Women's Wellness Center. If you need it and you are not local, let me know and we can send it to you. And I want you just to remember and to know that you got this. Trust your instincts, and remember, each baby is unique. They don't come with a manual. I do recommend the first year of having a baby. I give that out to my clients to read and to look through, but just remember, every baby is different, okay? That's your baby. Use your instincts. God will enlighten you. He will help you to keep that little bundle of joy safe. Again, my name is Alicia Hurt. I am the Executive Director for I See My Baby at the Women's Wellness Center at 310 South Scott Street in Bainbridge, Georgia. We can be reached at 229-939-3240. Our website is ISeeMyBaby.org. We want to thank you for your listening ear, and please share this with your network. Love you guys. Have a good day.